Jackson shotgun look. He's got Robinson lined up to the left side. Again, Jackson with time. Picked up by Justin Robinson. He could go all the way. Robinson, 40, 30, 20. Justin Robinson with a pickoff for a touchdown. Third down and 12 for the Aztecs. BYU coming with the blitz. Kraft gets away from the first man, gets out in the flat. Throws it downfield, intercepted by BYU, Dustin Gabriel. Can Gabriel get to the end zone? He's got one man to beat. Dustin Gabriel, touchdown, BYU.
The offensive coordinator with good play calling. This one is flipped out and picked off. Ill-advised throw, and it's going to be returned for a touchdown for BYU.
End around motion. They pick the handoff. They swing it to Bolin. Bolin, and maybe a lateral. I thought it might have been a lateral and a fumble. BYU's picking it up and running, and I think it's a backward pass, and BYU might score if they call it a lateral. The ball is picked up and returned by Scott Johnson into the end zone.
Weed fires. Incomplete, bouncing off of Bradley, and picked off the 20, the 15, the 10, 5, touchdown, David Dixon.
100 yards on the ground. That's Morrison, the motion man. The fake is to Turbin. And now Burrell, with no place to go, fumbles the football. And a ball on the tip of the 40 picked up by BYU, and this one could go back all the way, and indeed it does. Boy, talk about breaks for BYU.
And Jason, a guy who originally committed to Ole Miss, and a coaching change there. He switches to Tulane. The ball is loose. Jordan Pendleton bringing it back all the way. That's a touchdown.
The fact that he has type 1 diabetes, he's been an inspiration for the Cougar defense. That is a backward pass and a free ball, and BYU scoops it up, and going the other way is Matt Bauman. Bauman headed to the end zone. Touchdown, BYU.
Not a problem to get up there and go no huddle.
Pressure on Stout. Lost the football. Inside the 5. It's loose into the end zone. That looks like it's a BYU touchdown. Kyle Van Noy with the recovery.
NFL teams want guys that, are ball hawks and make plays and cause turnovers. And from the very first time I saw Danny, I knew he was a special athlete.
Graves, pitch, Iosefa. Slips out of the first tackle, slips out of the second. Loose football appears to be taken by BYU. Helmets on or not, it's a BYU touchdown.
Very cautious in this part of the end zone.
High snap, touchdown, Hadley.
Straight possession starts inside their own 5. Dingwell hit as he throws. Loose football recovered for a touchdown by Kyle Van Noy. BYU leads. Van Noy and Ansah. Now Van Noy drops in coverage. Dingwell pressured, has to heave it out of the end zone into the hands of Kyle Van Noy. Touchdown.
He'll throw on first down. The pass is intercepted. Van Noy into the end zone. Touchdown. How about that for a start?
Still waiting for the game's first turnover. There it is. Foa. Touchdown, Cougars. He's coming up at halftime. You won't want to miss it. Arias under heavy pressure. Picked off. There's that defensive touchdown. Bronson Kafosi.
2nd and 8. Hedrick with an interception to the end zone. Touchdown. My goodness. What a play by Fred Warner, the freshman linebacker.
Memphis can tie number 40.
And an interception. They were trying for the tight end. It's a BYU touchdown. Zach Stout.
They rush 3. Finley. Intercepted by Kai Nakua. His second pick of the night. And BYU is going to hang on. Nakua could house this thing. He does. Touchdown, BYU.
Greenlee back to work. Plenty of time. Intercepted. Nakua. Touchdown.
Robinson and Sharp are your deep threats. Keaton escapes, pumps, fumbles. It's loose. Brandon Young has it. It's picked up. Rumbling with it. Tomasi
touchdown.
Mark Rippon, his nephew, to throw on play action. First down. That's a line drive, and it is picked off. Fred Warner has it into Boise State territory. Warner with a flag down, stays in bounds. Warner down the sideline to the goal line.
Well for them. A lot of chemistry in that play calling department.
Another quick set for Rippon. Tip ball intercepted. Dion Lake for BYU with a second pick six tonight.
One of those talented sophomores.
Cougars bring a blitz. Picked off. Francis Bernard. And he's going in for the touchdown.
Has come in as the quarterback for the Wildcat, and he races forward. Ball comes loose. Scooped up by BYU. Michael Shelton headed the other way. Stumbling and into the end zone.
Myers picked, and if he can hang on, it's a pick six. Hanneman has it, and he takes it easily for 45 yards.
Eastern Washington, and then the offensive coordinator last 2 years at Cal.
Ball comes out. Derek Clark lost the handle, and this may be the spark BYU needed. Touchdown.
The corner actually on this play runs the heel line, gets a big tackle for loss.
We've seen this highlight probably 6 or 7 times during the post game, but Austin Lee pays it off after the Chris Wilcox.
Get pounded tonight though by BYU. 3rd and 16. McBride standing in. Where can he go with the football? McBride heaves it and intercepted. Here come the Cougars. Kafusi inside the 10, cuts back in. What a run! Touchdown!
Empty gun for Bohannon. It's picked off. And a pick six for Max Tooley. BYU pouring it on early.
Be out of this football game.
All for naught now. 3rd and long. Lagod's going to get intercepted. Picked off. It's Tooley. Max Tooley to the end zone. BYU touchdown.
And the number 2 running back in the state of Texas. And how about this? Coming the other way is BYU, taken away by Bywater, and he will take it to the house.
3rd down and 4. Jones standing tall, flips it, and it's intercepted. And this is going to go back to the house for a touchdown.
After that dive, legs all bloody.
Fumble. Covered by BYU, and then fumbled again. They'll recover in the end zone for a touchdown.
His mom, Channon, was instrumental in making others aware of his journey, telling them his story should not be wasted.
And Clark, I don't mean to interrupt.
They have all their timeouts. Handoff, and the ball comes out. The ball's out. BYU scoops. BYU scores. Fafita steps up. Fafita hit as he throws and intercepted. Glasgow, touchdown BYU! Exclamation point.